Hello and welcome back to DMV Rivals Summer 2023 edition. I'm your host FaZe, joined by Derive. How are you doing today?
Good, how are you? Got
Also,
a
yep, also doing well. We got a pretty exciting match coming up here. It's going to be Conjoined Twins versus Pisslets Revenge. So let's take a look at the teams.
Yeah, on the blue side we do have conjoined twins, where we have camper on duty and carnper on duty in the top bungle, as we call it, the top in the jungle. And then we I really so bad. And then we got no size matters in the mid lane, and then Habibi Papi and Habibi King in the bot lane. Whereas on the red side, however, we do have Pisslets Revenge returning once again for their fourth match. Uh, from there, we have Jiraxis in the top lane, Cloudy in the jungle, Weak Side mid lane in the mid lane, and Triangle Plant and You Are My Son in the bot lane.
Yeah, so we should have a pretty exciting matchup here for you guys today. Um, Two of the stronger teams, I think, in the tournament. Actually, Conjoined Twins 1-1 so far, and Pislet's Revenge, I believe, are up 3-0 in the tournament. So a team that has still yet to lose, and we'll see if Conjoined Twins can be the team to deliver them their first defeat.
Yeah, we haven't actually seen too much from conjoined twins so far. They're one of the teams that haven't played that many matches so far. So excited to see what they have left in reserve. And I think on the new patch, we have to think about adaptability. Once again, since the patch just changed and the balling meta got shifted, I'm really looking towards some players like being able to adapt and be able to respond to the meta changes.
Yeah, I'm particularly excited to see this jungle matchup between Karmperon, Duty, and Cloudy. I think most people would agree Cloudy the best jungler in the tournament, and has been a pretty quintessential part of their 3 wins so far. And we'll see if Karmperon Duty, who's also a pretty good jungler himself, can match him in the jungle.
Yeah, me too. Looks like the draft has started, however, so we'll be looking to go back towards that. And already we see some bans coming in through. Yeah, this is kind of one of the things you have to consider. We do see the Ivern ban, bless. Yesterday we saw Ivern sort of just dominate all the games going 3-0. But yeah, I think one of the strength of Pissless Revenge that we've seen throughout the tournament so far is just the ban phase. They have a bunch of players that you have to decide between target banning them or just banning meta champions. And oftentimes you can't ban both at the same time. So you have to consider, CT has to consider here, what are their options? We see Kindred and Gangplank being banned, both targeted towards Cloudy and Jiraxis. We
Yeah,
might see the Ornn ban coming in through as well.
I think it will probably have to be the Vladimir here. Getting that away from weak side mid lane has been a pretty popular strategy so far this tournament. He's a Vladimir one trick and a very high elo one at that. So I think it's a pretty smart decision for them to take that away. But that does come at the cost of leaving some of these more powerful fit picks that Pislet's Revenge can bring out up, like the Ornn and the Grave. So we'll see if they look towards either of these champions.
Yeah, you can see them debating, just going between the Ornn and the Vladimir at the very last second. On the other side, however, Pistlet's Revenge banning both the Aphelios and the Milio, targeting Habibi Papi and Habibi King. Habibi Papi has been playing a bunch of Aphelios as of late, and Emilio is still possibly a meta staple pick. Did get banned, or not banned, but nerfed in the recent patch, but still seems to be a bit strong.
Yeah, no, we did see last game that they played Conjoined Twins opting for the Lucian Blitzcrank bot lane, which has since been buffed. So, but it looks like it will be the Xayah coming out for Habibi Poppy.
Very interesting. So I know Habibi Papi at least does a bunch of research inside of the pro meta, solo queue, and stuff like that. He will make stat sheets and just basically see VODs of pro players on the current patch. So when we talk about adaptability, that's one of the players I'm kind of looking towards to see what is up with the new recent meta. But we do see a Jhin being responded to the Xayah, um, possibly being paired with a either a melee support or a Karma. Love to see here.
Yeah, what could be interesting is if they opt to go for something like the Rakan here to deny the Xayah Rakan away from Conjoined Twins. You know, a pretty classic pairing. There are other champions that can go with the Xayah, but getting that away from them could be a pretty good decision here. As it looks like it will be Cloudy just opting to go for the Hecarim early on in the draft and saving the support counter pick for later.
Yeah, it's kind of surprising me to be honest. I know he is quite proficient on the Graves as well, but he opts into the Hecarim instead. So this champion is one of those power farming junglers that, if you get a few kills, can actually steamroll the game. But you are into the Xayah, so it is a bit hard to engage onto her. Obviously, she has that ult for the self peel. We'll have to see what Conjoined Twins responds here. Okay, well
Yes.
that's a pick.
Yes, I actually don't know who's going to be playing the Pantheon here. I could see that going honestly mid, top, or support, and the flexibility is meant to be what makes them wanting to bring that out early. I know people used to play Pantheon jungle. I'm not sure if that's still good, but mostly a mid lane champion now. But I wouldn't be surprised if somebody like Habibi King wants to bring that out as a support.
Yeah, and we do have the Akali coming in. No size matters is definitely one of his more comfort champions. We saw him in the previous games play that out, but it might be actually responded to with the Cassio. Well, they're still choosing it, it seems like.
Yeah, Cassiopeia, pretty good champion into some of these more mobile and low range champions like the Akali and the Pantheon being brought out here. So I think that would be a pretty smart pick here.
Yeah, I would agree. The Miasma can really just shut down those champions, specifically Akali and the Pantheon. If Pantheon can't W forward, then he's kind of have a sitting duck. Same with the Akali. You see her a bunch with the dash, like a bunch of dashes with the E and the alt. So if she can't get one of those off, that could be critical in changing a team fight.
Yeah, no, there definitely is still some flexibility here. I mean, as much as no size matters does play the Akali, if he doesn't like this matchup, the Akali could still be flexed towards the top lane, and Pantheon we could still see in a variety of different roles. So we'll see what Pistlet's Revenge opts to ban. It looks like it will be the Scion, so it looks like they're assuming that it's a Pantheon support.
Yeah, I'm interested to see how it goes. Both teams still haven't picked their support quite yet. We see the Rakan ban coming in through. They're opting not to take it themselves. But yeah, I think as the patch has gone through, we see the rise of a lot of melee supports like Nautilus, Rakan. So I'm curious if maybe the Nautilus will be pinched on the 4th slot right here for PSR.
Yeah, and it'll be interesting to see what Conjoined Twins have as a response if it's not already the Pantheon, because Nautilus, while it is a pretty good engaged champion, there's certainly some counters like the Alistar, which I know Habibi King might look to. It will be the Ornn coming out, so they're really trying to save the support pick for last pick.
Yeah, with Drax's Gangplank being banned in the first phase, obviously his Ornn is basically prized. I think he ended up getting Grandmaster just picking the Ornn by itself in solo queue, and he was quite happy on that champion in terms of LP gains. So I'm quite interested to see that wasn't banned at all. They opted to ban the Malphite instead. I don't know if that was the right choice considering they have the Xayah that can ult it away, but I guess in the same case you can ult the Ornn ult. But
Yeah,
now we have
so
the Varus and the Braum coming through.
Yeah, so it looks like it will be a Pantheon jungle after all, and the Varus top, something we have already seen in the tournament as a counter to this Ornn, Chesto bringing it out just a couple of days ago, and that we saw Chesto do very well on this champion and carry his team pretty hard. So we'll see if Camper is able to replicate this performance.
Yeah, it's definitely really good into tanks as you get that W passive going. Once you get 3 of those, you will do a bunch of max HP damage. So when you go into stuff like the Hecarim and the Ornn, you're going to be shredding these targets, especially if you're in a solo lane. But we do see the Xerath actually being responded to. I actually like this a lot. Both the Jhin and the Xerath outrange the Xayah and the Braum. So in terms of the laning phase, it's going to be quite a heavy poke matchup. And I know that you've played a bunch of Xerath before, so any comments on the bot lane?
Yeah, I mean, I think Xerath just naturally very good into Braum. His poke avoids the shield in ways that other champions sometimes don't, being that they're not like these linear skill shots, and so because of that, something like the Jhin Xerath can be very powerful in this lane. It's already a really good combination, and the Braum does do a little bit better into the Jhin here, but if Xerath's able to get a lot of damage down, these melee supports can struggle a lot, and Xayah not exactly able to do much about it. So I think it's a pretty good setup here for Pistlet's Revenge in the bot lane, and that could help get their Hecarim quite far ahead.
Yeah. What are your overall impressions on both teams' drafts? Do you think one has the favor over the other?
I mean, I think I would have to favor Pistlet's Revenge here. Between the Cassiopeia doing a really good job against some of these picks like the Braum, the Akali, the Pantheon, and the Hecarim kind of having free reign to run down things like the Varus here. And I think it is nice to have the Braum into the Ornns. I don't think this draft is totally one sided, but I think I would still slightly favor Pistol's Revenge. What about you?
Yeah, I would have to agree. I think I have a bunch of concerns on the side of conjoined twins. They might prove me wrong. But in this case, I really think Karnper on duty on this Pantheon has to do a bunch of heavy lifting. The top lane matchup, while in isolation, goes very well for the Varus. You do have to worry about the Hecarim potentially diving onto the Varus. It's basically very easy pickings. So in order to prevent that, Karnper on duty is probably gonna have to head towards the top side, make sure that the Varus stays safe. But at the same time, you have to worry about the mid lane matchup as well. Akali doesn't fare too well into Cassiopeia in isolation. But at the same time, Akali can easily survive, but there does come the issue with Hecarim possibly swinging down there, or a bot lane, as we mentioned before, with the Jhin and Xerath, heavily poking onto the Varus, or sorry, the Xayah and the Braum. Basically, Karnper on duty has to cover a bunch of these lanes in order to try to prevent them from being ganked by Hecarim, essentially. And with Hecarim having two strong lanes to play towards, I would say it's very rough to possibly even invade him.
Yeah, I'm a bit confused in general about this Pantheon pick here. Like, normally you'd want to see it paired with something that can follow up on the CC really well, like a Talia. But I don't think it's doing anything particularly well here. It's not going to have an easy time ganking really any of these lanes. And I think a lot of the pressure here is going to be on Camper on duty in the top lane to see if he can get as far ahead on the Varus as Chesto was able to a few days ago.
Yeah, I think Karnper on duty will probably want to head towards the bot lane, just with the Jhin and Xerath being so easily gankable, just from like either a Flash Pantheon W. At the same time, Camper on duty would have to play very safe when they're playing on a split map like that. So this game, I think we're going to be expecting a lot of cross map plays where the Hecarim ganks on one side and Pantheon ganks on the other. So yeah, I'm excited. I think this is going to be quite a blast. There's going to be a bunch of action early on, as both teams kind of have to rely on these early ganks in order to basically make sure that their lanes survive.
Yeah, actually, as someone who's played the Xerath Jhin bot lane quite a bit now, I think it's not quite as easy to gank as you would think. It's when you're laning against these poke lanes, you're often quite low on HP, and it's hard to follow up on a gank, especially when you're pushed under the tower and getting poked out. And you have to kind of find these very specific windows as the jungler for when the wave's in a state where you can gank, and it can be a lot harder than you would think.
Yeah. I guess as long as the Xerath ease the Pantheon, then I guess all should be fine, unless someone gets tagged by Bromq.
Yeah, for sure. And I think the mid lane matchup is it's going to be really hard for No Size Matters to do anything here on the Akali. The Cassiopeia just pushing in and countering a lot of what the Akali can do. But No Size Matters is definitely a very proficient Akali player, and he probably has a lot of experience in the matchup, and maybe he'll be able to find some windows that other people wouldn't.
Yeah, I agree. It's kind of just one of those champions where by itself you never really die just due to second wind, door, and shield. That's still that combo is still quite annoying. But that champion does rely on a bunch of skirmishes early on, especially when you hit around level 6. So we'll see if maybe Habibi King or Camper on duty or Karnper on duty can focus down that lane and maybe swing the map just through the mid lane.
Yeah, I mean, I do think there are windows in the game, especially in the early game, for conjoined twins to pick up some pretty big advantages. If they can focus the top lane and their Varus is self sufficient in stomping top, there is definitely some ways that they can come back into the straight game. Even though I think Pistol's Revenge does have a very solid all around draft.
Yeah, we talked a bunch about the early game so far, so I'm interested to see what your thoughts are on the mid to late game. I think that dynamic changes a lot from the laning phase.
Yeah, I mean, I think Pistol's Revenge has a more forward comp in general to run in the late game. It is nice to have the Braum to make it a lot harder for the Ornn to engage, But if you do end up committing that unbreakable in the opposite direction to block the Ornn, you don't have that cooldown for the ensuing fight. So it's not necessarily a free thing to just counter the Ornn ult there. But I think it's going to be pretty important for conjoined twins to find some flanks and some windows for the Akali to get in and the Pantheon, because if not, I think Pistol's Revenge has a much more straightforward comp and has both DPS and poke to back up their pretty strong front line. What about you?
Yeah, I would absolutely agree. Just on the side of conjoined twins, I would say they might have some difficulties in terms of making space for either the Varus or the Xayah. For example, the Akali and the Pantheon both kind of just want to ult into the backline. At the same time, you have to worry about the Hecarim possibly jumping forward onto either the Varus or the Xayah. But fortunately, you do have Khabibi King, kind of dissuading that. So I'm interested to see if they can get those quick plays where basically they can dive onto the backline, get out, and then go back to protect their ADCs.
Yeah, and I do think like the Hecarim doesn't have as much follow up as you might in some other games when you have a lot more of these like poke champions. But if Kadi's able to get quite far ahead, then it might be pretty hard for the Varus and the Xayah to play. I do think that the Varus ult is going to be a very essential tool for conjoined twins to play around here, because if they're able to pick out some of these squishier members like the Xerath or the Jhin, or if Camper can get to the point where he's able to almost one-shot the Ornn here, then that could be the difference that conjoined twins can make in some of these team fights.
Yeah. I will say towards mid-game, they do have the benefit of the doubt of having the global Pantheon ult. So when you have strong side laners like the Varus or the Akali, you can easily make a 1v1 turn into a 2v1. So that's something that Pistol's Revenge is going to have to watch out for.
Yeah, and it does look like we're about to get into the game here. So yeah, we can see if there's anything interesting that these players have decided to go for with their builds. We do see Comet Count coming out from the Ornn into this ranged matchup. Normally you would see the Grasp coming out from Ornn, but I do think that this is a pretty good choice into the Varus. Everything else here seems pretty standard, so nothing too surprising. But yeah, we'll see if how these lanes end up going.
Yeah, absolutely. Interestingly, we do see a ghost on the Pantheon as well. Sometimes we would see the Pantheon take the flash. So in this case, he's looking to basically just run forward. Kind of helps with the miasma as well. Since you can't really flash out of that, you can kind of just run through it instead with the slow resistance.
Yeah, and we do see them running straight topside, potentially trying to catch out Draxus here, but it looks like Draxus will find himself in a pretty good position to prevent them from getting any kills on this play.
Yeah, with the Braum, it's so easy to go for these level 1 invades. If you tag a single person, then you can basically just pop the Braum passive almost immediately. So it's not too uncommon to see this. I'm curious if they can get vision to into the red side jungle here. But yeah, nice response from the side of Pistol's Revenge. You see both wards coming in down, basically getting full vision of what's going on.
Yeah, and it looks like just the one ward on the red buff of Cloudy. We'll see if they're able to see where he starts and track his pathing from there. But meanwhile, the bot lane of Pistol's Revenge was able to get some vision in the enemy jungle, and they will see Camper on duty here, who seems to be starting at his own red buff.
Yeah. Oh, could you change the sharing?
Oh, yes.
Alright. Yeah, besides that, it looks like both junglers going for a very basic start. We actually, interestingly, have Carper on duty starting the red buff. So it might be a case where he ends up going pathing towards the top side. Meanwhile, Cloudy starting the Raptors by himself. Oftentimes it's hard to solo a buff on Hecarim, so you can just easily just do the Raptors, then full clear down. Yeah, and both junglers opting to elect to go to the opposite side, which almost I'm a bit surprised by, because I know in the past, conjoined twins would usually focus down towards the bot side with Habibi Poppy and Habibi King. But in this case, Karmpra on duty, starting on the bot side instead.
Yeah, we could see Karmpra on duty go. Actually, we have Habibi King jumping on the triangle plant, almost landing the stun here. Karmpra also getting jumped on by Jiraxis, but I think Karmpra will definitely win out on this one. Does miss the Q though, a crucial dodge from Jiraxis there.
Wow, that's actually a very interesting start. Cloudy didn't buy any potions, so he just starts with the jungle item. He took his 3 camps topside, now he resets and grabs that tier. Now he's gonna go head back towards the bot side without really wasting too much time. So I think that's an interesting path actually.
Yeah, and we do see. I'm surprised Habibi Poppy and Habibi King doing quite well in the early trades here. I would expect for them to be getting poked out a little bit more by this Jin Zerath. So nice by them to dodge some of the poke. We do see Habibi Poppy dodging out on the W there.
Yeah, for sure, without a doubt.
Drax is once again jumping onto Camper, but Camper able to trade back quite a lot of damage, and Draxus will get pretty low up here in this lane.
Yeah, it's pretty rough. It's probably one of those options where you don't want to E forward at all. Otherwise, Camper on duty can't get that extended trade with passive going forward. Even if the trade looks good in the short term, it's just
gonna be rough. Hit by the stun, and now a lot of the poke will come out. Triangle Plant able to land the 4th auto too, and Habibi Poppy will go very low, and without the heal, he might have to back off very soon. We do see Hecarim also pathing down towards the bot lane. Maybe they could go for a dive if they're able to get the lane pushed in here.
Yeah, Ulsam's still available though. They do have the flash, they have the exhaust as well, so this dive might be a bit difficult, but Habibi Poppy once again getting hit by the Zerath Q. Top lane, however.
Yeah, it looks like Jiraxis might just go down here. This should be a very easy dive with him so low and the guaranteed stun coming out. A nice kill. Actually, it looks like he's knocked up, and Jiraxis is able to get the return kill, but still a favorable play for the side of Conjoined Twins.
Yeah, you denied the wave as well. You get the Jiraxis TP. Meanwhile, possibly getting towards mid lane. I think he's just scouting. Cloudy's just scouting at the Raptors.
Oh, as Jiraxis flashing onto Camper, who still does have his barrier up. Uses the E, but I don't think there will be enough follow-up damage for Jiraxis to get the kill here.
Yeah, he's just walking
away. He lands
away.
the Q. The barrier does come out, so he is able to get that cooldown. But oh, as he turns around and gets the kill with the Comet, Camper getting quite a bit greedy there.
Yeah, maybe he wasn't expecting the Comet to, to come in through, or suddenly turning into a magician. Just breeze at him. And then, yeah, ends up getting the solo kill in response, and that's now Ornn being 2 kills up on the Varus. I'm not sure that's what you want to see.
Yeah, we wanted to see this Varus getting ahead early game, especially with the favorable lane matchup, and you know, trying to get ahead. If he was able to get ahead of their game, that maybe this was one of their win conditions. But with him so far behind, I think the Ornn at this point will be sitting pretty up there.
Yeah, I think the matchup will still be fine for Camper on duty. It should still be advantageous towards him. But the Ornn does get accelerated a bit faster, so that you can get some earlier MR. You see the I'm not even sure what the item is called. Is it a bulwark? Something like that.
Is it Aegis of the Legion? Yeah, Aegis of the Legion.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, you learn new things every day.
Yep. Yeah, Camper. Oh, as Jiraxis now dings level 6, can he bring out the Call of the Forge God? Lands it with the auto follow up into the QW, and almost getting Camper down here, who it looks like might be chased down. Very well played by Jiraxis to at least get Camper very low in this lane, but now Camper arriving, and Jiraxis without any cooldowns. Camper able to jump onto Jiraxis with the stun, and the follow-up damage will be there, and Pantheon getting the shutdown. Meanwhile, it looks like Cloudy and his team clearing the dragon.
We'll have a bit of a freeze going here, but yeah, response player on the side of Cloudy. Same thing with this cross map play. You see the Pantheon in the top lane. It should be a free dragon for them, and 6 minutes at that, so potential area for dragon stacking very early on. Yeah, top lane, however, Camper on duty, getting that the plates, and the massive wave being shoved in. That really hurts to see. Jiraxis now without the TP, basically can't clear any of those minions.
Yeah, Habibi Poppy and Habibi King doing quite well down here, despite what should be a losing lane matchup. Habibi even in farm, and although they were able to use the pressure from the Zerath and Jhin to get the dragon, not too much ahead in this lane, so that'll be good for the side of Conjoined Twins moving forward.
Yeah, and we have the Herald spawning in a minute. I'm curious if either teams rotate their bot lane up for it. I would imagine Habibi King might want to look towards that, especially with the fact that they need a...
Oh, as No Size Matters now jumping onto weak side mid lane, able to get through the Miasma. The ult is up for the Akali. Nice ult from weak side mid lane coming out as No Size Matters now getting very low, forced to flash away. Meanwhile, Drax is trading again on the Camper on duty up in the top lane.
Yeah, that was a really well timed ult right there on the side of weak side mid lane. basically preventing the Akali to do a bit more damage before the R2, but actually a Pantheon ult towards the bot side ends up whiffing a tiny bit. Looks like they will just back off. No flash is burned there. And I think that's a pretty huge cooldown being missed.
And it
No
looks
size
like
matters, has to watch out.
yeah, it looks like Cloudy might be going for a dive here. Kali does have the Shroud up, so we'll probably be able to avoid it, but they're getting very low under the turret, as it looks like Varus might be the one who's the target of the dive now. Jiraxis' ult coming back up and able to land this chain CC onto Camper, who does flash away, but it looks like Cloudy will be able to finish the kill using the Ghost to escape from the turret.
Yeah, we called out the Orin Blader. Adraxis, perfectly timed combo, lands the ult into the E knockup, into the ult knockup as well, basically securing Camper on Duty's death right there. And Cloudy able to just clean that up. Bot lane, however, some skirmishing going on.
Yeah, but it looks like the Jhin and Xerath are out of mana, so they won't be able to continue too much damage there. Nose still very low under this turret.
Yeah, this is one of those issues. You'd love to see Karmpa and GD make some plays like that, basically dive either onto the bot side, but unfortunately, with his bot lane getting chunked out, it's really hard to gank that lane without the ult. But we do see him going and invade into the enemy jungle, stealing away the blue buff, so that's well played for them.
Yeah, and the gold remains pretty even here. Pistlet's Revenge is up the dragon, but no team has too huge of an advantage going into the later part of the laning phase here.
Yeah, eyes on the dragon right now. Basically, we're looking at item completion, see if one team completes a mythic or not. I think Cloudy actually might be getting close to either the Dustblade. Oh, and he just buys 2 long swords.
Yeah, I think he's still a little ways away. He did opt to go for that tier early on, so delayed his item spike a little bit. And it looks like we have both teams potentially looking for this Herald, but with Triangle Plant and You Are My Son still in the bot lane, this will probably go right to the side of Conjoined Twins.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about this. I think it's okay to rotate the Braum over, but possibly it's okay to have the Xayah just come down there instead. Maybe they're worried about the Xayah being dived. But it looks like it will just be a Herald being traded for some bot lane turrets or plates.
Yeah, but they're going to have to do a lot with this Herald here to make up for the gold that they're bleeding to the Jhin and Xerath in the bot lane.
Yeah, one option you do have is to send the Herald up towards the top lane as the dragon spawning, basically forcing the side of...
Yeah, as Drax is once again jumping onto Camper with the ult, able to land the combo, but the Pantheon now arriving, able to land the stun, and Camper returning damage back onto Jiraxis, who now doesn't have any cooldowns, and it looks like Jiraxis will once again go down to Karmper. So Karmper doing very well to help out his top laner here and get him further ahead.
Yeah, now looking back on it, I actually really like the setup right here. They can drop the Herald top lane. Cloudy really wants to take the dragon here, but the issue is that they have to protect their tier 2 turret.
Nose jumping onto You Are My Son with the ult, able to dodge out on the stun from the Xerath, but does back off a bit, scared that the with the Jhin and Xerath too high HP. As they do pop both ults, we'll see if No Size Matter is able to dodge out on these skill shots here. It is hit by quite a lot, and the fourth shot, not quite there, but it looks like Cloudy will be able to clean up the kill.
Yeah, I don't know if that was the play right there. You got a bit overconfident. Usually when you're making a cross-map play like this, with Pantheon going top lane, you just want to basically keep your as much HP as possible so you can't get dived. One thing that was going for him is that he could use the Shroud in case Hecarim tries to gank him and shouldn't be able to get hit by the E. But in this case, he ends up ulting in and falling down, so that might be the bot lane turret being dropped, in addition to the dragon being taken on the side of Pistlet's Revenge.
Yeah, I think the turret will be okay, but the dragon definitely going down here. And while there is a little bit of a gold lead for Conjoined Twins, with the dragon stacking already starting up for Pistlet's Revenge, this could get very dangerous soon.
Yeah, both teams likely just going to be resetting right here. Karmpa on duty, completing the Dustblade actually is going to be doing a massive amount of damage. Yeah, we're still waiting on some item completions. I imagine weak side mid lane is probably going to complete the Rod of Ages soon. And we see the Nashor's Tooth actually be completed on the side of Varus. So it looks like he's, despite the Ornals and the gank's top lane, Camper on duty is doing completely fine.
Yeah, and it looks like the some of the players are finally starting to learn the words of Lyrax in the chat, who's been repeatedly complaining about Storm Razors being built on champs like this Aya. It looks like they're finally opting for this Kraken Slayer, which I do believe is a lot better here. As Drax is once again jumping onto Camper with the ult, able to land the full combo. Cloudy has arrived, and with the TP coming in from weak side mid lane, this could get very dangerous for Karnper, who looks like just wants to chase down the kill. Able to secure the shutdown, and Habibi King now arriving. Meanwhile, No Size Matter is going in 1v2 again, able to land the kill onto You Are My Son. A nice play by him. Habibi Poppy now here in the top lane, and this could be disastrous for Pistlet's Revenge. Luckily, Drax is able to secure the kill onto who was it, Karnper there, and Habibi King going down as well as Habibi finishes off the Ornn there, and it looks like Habibi will also kill the Cassiopeia, so a very good play from Habibi Poppy there, but kills being traded all across the map.
Yeah, that actually will be a 4-for-2 on the side of Conjoined Twins. No Size Matters popping off in the bot lane, going for the 1v2 versus the Jhin and Xerath. Obviously, if they miss their skill shots, then you have free reign to do whatever you want. But top lane, however, we saw Karnper on duty with a Dustblade, actually buying some time for his team with the invulnerability passive. So Habibi King is able to run up there and basically defend him. He does fall down eventually, but given the time that he stalled, Habibi Poppy was able to clean up 2 kills. So well played.
Yeah, for sure. We'll see if now Camper clearing some plates in the mid lane. You Are My Son arriving, but there will be plenty of backup here as Habibi King walking in as well. Lots of members of both teams are on this mid lane as we were still waiting for 2.5 minutes for this next dragon to come up.
Yeah, I imagine not much is going to be happening right now. Both teams are probably looking to just get set up in the bot side. We do see the Varus actually being sent down into the Cassio. I think this is a pretty good choice considering the Varus does not have TP. So you have No Size Matters up in the top lane with the TP available, basically preparing for the dragon fight.
Yeah, and Draxus and weak side mid laner did end up blowing their TP in the last play, which could come down to a difference in this next dragon play that happens if one of them needs to be on the other side of the map and doesn't have that TP available.
Yeah, normally, especially with the Cloud Soul coming in through, normally the Cloud Soul is not regarded as being one of the best souls, but in this case, if the side of Pistlet's Revenge ends up getting it, you have champions like the Hecarim to Jhin who basically scale off the movement speed so very well. So the dragons are quite impactful in this case.
Yeah, I think Cloud definitely a soul that's pretty underrated in general, and with these champions could be very big for them, but it's also good for a lot of the members on the side of Conjoined Twins if they're able to get to that eventually with the Akali and Xayah both able to use that to like reposition effectively in fights.
Yeah, it looks like the Herald will be spawning in 30 seconds, so you do see Conjoined Twins looking around that area. But it is a very small timer between the Herald spawning and the Dragon spawning as well. Fortunately, if you do get the Herald, then you can maybe use that on the mid lane turret to basically force the team to go there, and you can opt in for the Dragon afterwards. But we do have Cloudy creeping around the bot side, Camper on duty by himself.
Yeah, he will see Cloudy now, but it's a bit too late as the Xerath ult coming out as well pops the barrier, able to lock him down under the turret. Might get both kills here as No Size Matter TPing in, flashes for the kill, so a nice play from Camper, able to turn that around, and that will probably be the dragon going over to Conjoined Twins.
Yeah, he does so much damage. You saw him auto-tech both of the champions there. And then at the very end, with the barrier, he uses the enhanced Q, basically almost one-shotting both of them. And the turret actually takes them down as well. No Size Matters with the TP as well, securing the kill onto Cloudy. So well played right there.
Yeah.
And I like what Habibi Poppy is doing right here. They know that they can secure the dragon, knowing that it's a 5v3.
Well, actually, the TP coming in, and it looks like Pistlet's Revenge does want to contest, and I think Camper might be the one who's late to the party, so they might have to back off the dragon here. Weak side mid lane getting a lot of damage down onto Nose. Nose able to land the E, but it looks like they have successfully forced them off the dragon and are now starting it themselves. The Pantheon ult coming out from Karnper, able to jump onto Cloudy, but he might be a bit too far forward as it looks like the rest of the team will collapse and finish them. Habibi King failing the flash, but they are still able to secure the kill onto weak side mid lane. So a nice play by the rest of the team to turn that play around, and it will be a 1-for-1 with conjoined twins once again getting positioned towards this dragon.
Yeah, but low health bars on the side of Habibi King and no size matter, so it might just actually be Pistol's Revenge taking this down. I may have been a bit wrong. I may have forgotten about the TPs on the Casio, so they end up, instead of it being a 4v3, it ends up being...
Oh, as it looks like You're My Son caught out by the Varus ult, and he will go down quickly to No Size Matters. A nice ult from Camper there to prevent the rest of Pistlet's Revenge from getting in and being able to take this dragon right away.
Yeah, Drax is also tipping in the bot side here, so it looks like they want to react to that play, but we saw the power of the AP Varus right there. Basically, the ult applies 3 stacks of Blight immediately, so once you land that and land the enhanced Q, you saw You Are My Son basically going down to 25% HP, and then easily would just clean up from there.
Yeah.
Interestingly, the dragon is still up, but I imagine Pistol's Revenge is probably not going to be able to opt into that.
Yeah, Cloudy going right for the enemy jungler's top side, so it looks like they will just be giving up this dragon, although No's walking into Cloudy, and I think at this point in the game, No's a lot stronger and would be able to win out on this 1v1.
Yeah, no ult available, unfortunately. He does have the Mage Eyes, however, so you see the confidence in No Size Matters, basically with 8 stacks. Looking to get some more chapters in that book. But Draxus with a flank right here.
Yeah, we'll see if he's able to block the ult with the Brommel. It actually is just in time, the wall coming out, and now Cloudy a bit far forward, but able to secure the kill onto Habibi Poppy, and with the ADC down, I think that's a big problem for conjoined twins. Now Carper getting chased down as well, able to land quite a bit of damage on the Cloudy, but Camper not able to finish off the kill, and with only Camper around, I think this will be the dragon, the sole point coming to the side of Pistlet's Revenge.
Yeah, I don't know if they weren't marking the top laner. Draxus was able just to walk up the river essentially and go for that ult onto Habibi Poppy without Habibi Poppy having the ult himself. Yeah. Despite using the flash, it's just that easy with the Ornn ult and the Hecarim ult going on top of you.
Yeah, and really Camper a bit far forward here does miss the knockup, but with Cloudy coming in, they will easily be able to secure that kill as well.
Yeah, I genuinely don't know what happened. I thought that dragon was theirs, but it looks like they opted to go for the mid turret instead, slowing down the game a tiny bit. But yeah, that just means that Pistlet's Revenge was able to just recoup and basically end up going for a fight, taking the dragon, and now they're in really good hands. Only 1 dragon away from Soul at 24 minutes.
Yeah, and we're only a few levels away from these Ornn items coming in, so even though the gold lead is not there yet, with once these items start to roll out, we will see Pistlet's Revenge being quite ahead of conjoined twins. So I think it will definitely be on conjoined twins to make something happen before it gets too late into this game.
Yeah, I want to say No Size Matters go for some of these flank spots. I think if you get onto either the Jhin or the Xerath, you can basically one-shot those very easily, him being 4-1. So I'm curious to see how that goes.
Yeah, as we do see a little bit of a scuffle in the jungle. Carper able to smite away the camp. Now No Size Matters lands the E onto Cloudy. We could see him going all the way as it looks like he'll opt out of the play.
Yeah, I think that would probably would be a bit of a Lee syndrome or the equivalent of that, where if you ease into the Cloudy right there, you do have the Cassiopeia just hovering right next to him. Probably could just be dropped down the miasma.
Yeah.
Yeah, one thing going for them, No Size Matters. Oh,
Habibi King once again able to block out the ult, but we'll see if there's follow-up. No Size Matters TPing in, and the ult from Pantheon, and Draxus might be a bit far forward here. Carper getting chased down as well. Cloudy going in, the ult comes out from Habibi Poppy, but the callback is not there, and You're My Son going down now to No Size Matters. Cloudy running in again, but also getting quite low, and it seems like it will just be a 2-for-1 in favor of Pistlet's Revenge.
Yeah, initially the fight looked pretty good for conjoined twins. They ended up blocking the Ornn ult. But you saw the moment that Carper on duty ulted in, he immediately got focused down by the backline of Pistlet's Revenge, and with that having too much tank items himself, basically gets chunked down immediately.
It looks like Pistlet's Revenge going straight towards this Baron after winning the fight, and we'll see if conjoined twins able to get here in time. There, oh, actually, yeah, without too much Baron damage here, and with the rest of the respawns coming in for conjoined twins, it looks like they will opt not to go for it yet.
Yeah, despite the gold being even, I think it's just very risky to go for that play. You can opt into another 5v5 right there, and without actually having spent the gold yourself, it's best just to reset, get your items, and then slowly play the map. 2 minutes to Dragon, I imagine they really want to go for that.
Yeah, we'll see. This could end up being an objective trade, as if Conjoined Twins goes to deny the soul point, then we might have Pistlet's Revenge coming up and trading that for the Baron, which is one of the advantages of being on soul point here.
Yeah, especially with the power of Cassio, you can basically shred Baron quite easily, just spamming the Q and the E.
Yeah, and we'll see if Conjoined Twins here are able to get into position on one of these objectives to secure it early and not on enough that they're able to maybe force a fight so that they can get both objectives, because if not, then they could be quite far behind here.
Yeah, this is a really rough spot. You notice that no one on Conjoined Twins has their TP available, so now weak side mid lane is able to push in the bot lane for free and is looking to go take down the tier 2 turret right here. So we'll see the response. Conjoined Twins might be looking for the Baron to force that TP out.
Yeah, they are going to start it up right away. Cassiopeia backing off, probably preparing the TP here as it does come out, so they do get that cooldown, but it looks like a fight might not be happening. Jiraxis jumping onto the backline, but he's a bit far forward. It looks like he'll just be taken down. Cloudy now running through the team, but the damage isn't there. Weak side mid lane also a bit far forward. That he'll probably go down as well, but Cloudy able to get the jump on the backside of Conjoined Twins. Karmper being able to finish him off, and Nose just running through the team as he'll be able to finish off the kill, and that will be all 5 going down for the side of Pistlet's Revenge.
Yeah, really well played with the kiting right there. You saw the power of the feathers as well as the Brummel. Basically, they focused down the Ornn immediately. That's basically the front line gone. And with that being happening, No Size Matters able to dive onto the back line as well. We also saw weak side mid lane go for that flash ult, but unfortunately all of the side of Conjoined Twins were facing away from the ult. So immediately with the flash being burned, they just turn on him and take him down.
Yeah, and the death timer is low enough here that we won't yet see, they aren't able to trade this Baron for the Dragon, and it looks like all of Conjoined Twins will be there in time. So we might see another team fight right away, but with the Baron, this should be an advantage for Conjoined Twins.
They're both going. I'm excited. We have another fight basically going on here, but
No Size Matters a bit far forward, but able to dodge out on the stun, taking quite a lot of damage. He does have the TP coming up soon, but a bit of an overstep there from Nose is... This might be a bit risky to go for the fight with Akali so low.
Yeah, no Zai ult available, however. We do have the Ornn ult, so potentially they can look for Habibu Puppy here. But with the Baron buff as well, they have increased stats, so we'll have to see what happens here. It might just be a 50-50.
Yeah, as they're just both posturing around the Dragon. I think the more time goes on, the better it is for Conjoined Twins with these cooldowns coming up. The Xayah ult now just about to come up, and all the flashes available except for the Akali, as Drax is jumping a bit far forward again. We'll just go very low, and Nose also going in, lands the E, and the damage is there. Nose a bit far forward too, though, and they're able to finish him off before too long. Cloudy going in. Cloudy does go down as well, and so far just a 2 for 2, but with weak side mid lane so low. Oh, the poke from Varus almost there. Habibi, oh, forced to blow the ult, and the last Xerath ult not quite there. Camper able to jump over and kill the Xerath.
Yeah, a fight on knife's edge. You saw Habibu Puppy barely living, as well as weak side mid lane. Weak side mid lane almost taken down to 1 HP, but they will secure the Dragon right here, and that means soul point will be denied.
Yeah, Habibi.
Notably, however, the Baron is almost used up, I imagine. I think they only have a few minutes left. So while secure the Dragon is good, unfortunately they're not able to use too much for securing turrets. But that's alright with them, I think.
Yeah, Habibi, they're barely able to live out from the Xerath ultimate. Last tournament he did go down, so he is improving with his dodging mechanics. But yeah, we did see him have to blow the ult there, as Camper now landing the ult onto weak side mid lane, and with the Pantheon coming in, they will be able to secure that kill as well. And it looks like the game quickly turning back into the favor of Conjoined Twins here.
Yeah, if you're ahead on Conjoined Twins, you can easily just look for the side lane planes like that. Just having the Varus ult into the Pantheon ult basically means you have no way of living, especially with weak side mid laner not having the flash up.
Yeah, so well played by Camper and Karmper there. The name synergy coming in, and they're able to secure a free kill onto weak side mid lane.
Yeah, looks like both teams are just looking to group around towards the top side. I'm curious how they do lane assignments right here, because it's a bit hard to send the Varus in the side lane without the Pantheon ult being available. So it looks like the camper on duty will just be heading towards the mid lane just for safety.
Yeah, we'll once
And
again have the Baron coming up here just about a minute before the Dragon. So we could see, if they go rush to the Baron, then that could be traded for the Soul here. So Conjoined Twins will once again have to be careful with these timers.
yeah, right now the name of the game is just vision. You have to secure vision towards the top side. And with Conjoined Twins getting control of the top side area around the Raptors, they're able to push down this mid lane. But interestingly, Cloudy is hovering around the bot side near weak side mid laner. I think they're expecting potentially one of the champions to be down there.
Yeah,
Or
but
just
now they do see Cloudy on the map, so that'll give them the comfort they need to continue to push forward and put pressure on some of these topside turrets.
Yeah, however, with the Jhin and the Xerath, it looks like they're able to wave clear this, so weak side mid laner is sticking to the bot lane, trying to take down their tier 2 turret. Cloudy with a flank, however.
Yeah, we could see a fight coming in here soon.
I don't know if this works. Yeah, he's a bit too squishy to go off for this, especially with that weak side mid lane right there. So
Yep.
he calls that off, but
Draxus
was a
continuing to
potential
chase them into the lane, so yeah, I guess we still will be waiting. The Baron now coming up in a minute and a half, and another turret going down to the side of Pistlet's Revenge.
yeah, these fights are going to be very explosive. The frontliners are not safe at all. Pistlet's Revenge, even though you do have the Ornn with full tank items, you saw how much burst the Varus can just provide with the percent HP damage, as well as Habibi Poppy now starting to build that last Whisper. And on the same side, Conjoined Twins, they do only have the Pantheon and the Braum really to try to tank up that damage. The Pantheon does have the E available to try to soak up as much as he can.
Yeah, and we
So
do
yeah,
have
these fights are going to be very quick.
Yeah, and we do have the Syzygy coming in for the Hecarim here that Eclipse has been upgraded, so as these items continue to come in, we will see the side of Pistlet's Revenge getting even further or even stronger in this game.
Yeah, I'm surprised you remember the name of those. Do you know? Do you remember all the names?
Not all of them. I think this one's called like the Unspoken something, or we can check. Yeah, the Unspoken Parasite.
What is the name of that?
Yep. I don't know where that came from, but they do have some pretty funky names. So it looks like, I believe the upgraded Gale Force is called. Do you remember this?
I think I remember that one.
It has something to do with wind or something like this.
Yeah, but both teams are now starting to go towards the mid lane. We have the Dragon spawning in a minute, and the Baron already spawned. So mid lane is quite important here. But however, no size matters. Pushing out the bot lane means he can get a flanked side or a flank target coming from the bot side if they do opt to go for the Dragon. Right now, it looks like Pistlet's Revenge is a bit confused as to where they want to go. It looks like Cloudy wants to go towards the Baron side, but the rest of the team is just hovering around mid lane.
Yeah, Karmper also hanging out here in the top side river, so able to dissuade them from just rushing straight to the Baron. As it does seem like Pistlet's Revenge getting the mid push of taking advantage of their long range bot lane to, if they're able to continue to push in these lanes, they could be the first one to move to one of these objectives.
Yeah, I do want to see some flank angles once again. No size matters. He was in the bot side earlier. Right now, he's grouping in. We start seeing him head down towards the right side of the Dragon. It looks like Pistlet's Revenge is going to be backing off from the Dragon area. Basically, the vision there pushing them away. And Conjoined Twins looking to start up the Dragon.
Yeah, and it looks like we might just have Pistlet's Revenge here getting ready to trade it for the Baron, but the Dragon going down very fast, and I'm not sure, with Cassiopeia not there, the Baron could be very slow, and the Pantheon ult ready to come in, so we could see a fight happening up here around the Baron. Nicely played by Conjoined Twins here.
Yeah, no size matters. He's looping around. They're looking for a fight.
Yeah, Cloudy jumping in, but that might be a bit too early. Does get quite a bit of damage off, but now No Size Matters jumping into the middle of the team, able to stall quite a lot with the Shroud. Gets the Zanyas up. We'll see if the team is able to follow up in time. Continues to jump forward, and Cloudy going very low, but they are able to take down No Size Matters. The health bar is now very low on the side of Pistlet's Revenge, with both the Xerath and Jhin ult coming out. Habibi King able to block those projectiles, though.
Yeah, I would have thought with the flank from No Size Matters that Conjoined Twins could be able to walk up, but it looks like they were a bit afraid.
Yeah, but now Drax is catching out Habibi King here, and it looks like Habibi King will just go down. Draxus is taken down by Camper with the last E, but Karmper getting very low does pop the stopwatch here, and Actually able to escape with the Dust Blade.
no.
Camper finishing off the kill, but now Cloudy coming in onto Camper. Camper flashing away, lands the E. Camper is just popping off in this fight, and Habibi King not quite going down. It looks like it'll just be a 3-for-3 here. Camper smurfing his mind off, but Habibi Poppy will go down. The triangle plant, not the most necessary flash of all time.
Yeah, Cloudy just lifts back and is like, oh, okay, you're still here. I'm just gonna ult you. Does take down Habibi Poppy, but both teams basically trading sides. The Baron's still up, but neither team can really go for it with only 2 champions up, so I imagine both teams here is going to come back into mid lane, try to get the division over there. No size matters, probably going to head towards the bot lane as well.
Yeah, but when all is said and done, the kills traded pretty evenly, and the Dragon's still at the start of the play, going over to Conjoined Twins. So, Conjoined Twins will take that as they're getting quite strong and maybe looking to win some of these fights around the Baron now. Definitely the best game we've had so far this tournament, with these teams just going blow for blow in these really exciting team fights.
Yeah, 24-23, it could almost not get even more even. So yeah, I'm curious to see how the fight goes here. The Baron is still going to be a huge priority here for both teams. You see Jiraxis not even going to be able to push out the bot lane because he doesn't have TP, so he's forced towards the top side. And yeah, we're seeing both teams once again reaching around this Baron area.
Yeah, a lot of stopwatches available too here for this next fight, with the Xayah, the Varus, and the Jhin all having those up. So we'll see if that could be the difference in one of these plays. The Guardian Angel finished as well for Karmper on duty.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised Conjoined Twins is kind of staying around in the top side area right there. I think they really should be playing through the mid lane, making sure Habibi Poppy is able to push that out. Once you secure mid lane priority, it becomes a lot more easier to walk into the Baron area.
Yeah, and they do have the inside track on the mid lane, but it looks like Karmper and No's a bit too far up here. Draxus will jump onto him, and Karmper probably going to lose the GA here. No size matters, dashing back in will probably go down as well. Definitely an overstep here, and that should be the Baron going over to Pistlet's Revenge.
Yeah, 2 clean kills. The Baron should be pretty free to get, but it looks like Conjoined Twins, still with the 3 members, are looking to walk forward.
Yeah, but without a smite, this could be very rough. Camper is able to land the ult, but nowhere near enough damage to kill the Ornn, and yeah, it looks like that will just be the Baron going down, and we'll see if they're able to get this smite kill, and with the Jhin ult pop, they might get chased down here as well. A nice ult coming out from Habibi King, able to block the initial engage. Cloudy actually going quite low, and a nice play by Habibi King and Habibi Poppy there to turn that around and get the kill.
Yeah, I guess that's what they're expecting to do. Maybe they can chunk down our frontliner and burst them down just like we saw right there. But Jiraxis really well played. He was making space for his team, basically making them able to secure the Baron without any of their backline being threatened.
Yeah, and
so in this case, clean Baron going through.
Yeah, and a lot of turrets here for them to claim with the Baron. We did just see them take the mid outer and 2 inners as well to go down. So that will be a lot of gold coming back for the side of Pistlet's Revenge.
Okay, we have the Dragon spawning in 35 seconds, but Cloudy is down for another 20 seconds, so he's going to be 15 seconds off the Baron, or sorry, the Dragon. So I'm curious what happens here. Whether Conjoined Twins will be opting to just basically burst down the Dragon as soon as possible. But with his move speed of the Hecarim, I'm not sure if that's possible.
Yeah, I think we might be ending up seeing another fight here, so that should be pretty exciting. Yeah, the entirety of Pistlet's Revenge, pushing out mid with the Baron and already getting position on the Dragon with Cloudy arriving here very soon. So it's going to be up to Conjoined Twins to find a play with them already having control of the river.
Yeah, Cloudy with the home guard just easily able to come back towards his team. And they do have some nice control over here.
Yeah, as it looks like they'll continue to push out the mid lane, and I think that Conjoined Twins is going to be very pressed to make something happen soon. Cloudy not deciding to go in yet, but I'd imagine we'll see an engage here very soon.
Yeah, look at No Size Matters though. He's crept behind the bush right here, possibly looking towards the backside of either the Jhin or the Xerath.
Yes, they will start to funnel in there, but they do see No Size Matters, and Draxus sort of blocking out the fight here, but the Jhin a little too far forward. Karmper able to land the kill, and Cloudy and who was it? Draxus both going down, and Habibi flashing forward lands the kill onto Triangle Plant as well, and that'll be Habibi popping the Zanya is just barely able to survive there. and
No way.
the healing will come in, and it looks like that will be a third Cloud Dragon coming in for them, and now both teams will be on Soul Point.
Holy, this is neck and neck.
Oh, it's
Oh,
You're my son popping the ult in No Size Matter's face, a little disrespectful, and he'll just go down.
yeah, you hate to see it. I think they were just focusing down, looking to possibly kill a BB Poppy, but unfortunately, oh, actually they're pushing towards the mid lane. I'm not sure if they can really get much besides the inhib, but I'm curious if they try to go for an end angle.
Yeah, I think that might be a bit greedy here. It is 5v4, but they do all have low health bars. I imagine they'll just choose to back off here, and now with the Baron, they'll have, or excuse me, with the inhib, they'll have priority on this next Baron and Dragon, hopefully.
Yeah, still a while to the objectives, but let's rewind it back to the fight and just consider what happened. So once again, we see Jirax is basically being popped immediately. You kind of see the power of the double ADC comp with both the Varus and the Xayah being able to shred down tanks like that, despite all the tank items there. And No Size Matters, once again, every single fight you kind of see him going in these flank angles. Unfortunately, misses the E onto You Are My Son, but lands it onto Jirax's as well. So as a team, they're able to pull down the front line. And considering Jin, not really well known for being
No
this...
Size Matters now getting jumped on by Cloudy, and he'll get cut out by the Xerath stun in the Shroud, and that'll be the kill, although I don't know if it'll be too impactful as these objectives still aren't coming up for quite a while.
Yeah, mid lane also having the super minions, so it's really hard to push into. We'll have to see what they opt
but
in.
Carper also a bit far forward here. Cloudy trading onto Carper, but Camper arriving, and Draxus might be a bit too far forward here again. Weak side mid lane getting a lot of damage down, as now Carper and Camper kind of blocked into this choke point. The ult coming out from the Ornn, able to zone off the rest of the team. It looks like Carper and Camper will go down. So the continued play in the favor of Pistlet's Revenge. BB Poppy getting very low and will go down to the Xerath ult. Does have the stopwatch available, but that might just be the game here.
Yeah, they have 1 minion available with the next minion wave coming in soon, but they're tanking it to make sure it survives. If you keep it up, then you have the minion debuff bonus. So it looks like Cloudy's just going to tank the turret, and then might actually just be the game coming in through. Oh no.
Yeah, I think the turret of the minion does go down, but with 4 members here and just they'll be able to finish off the game before No's even able to get there in time. A really nice game by Pistlet's Revenge here, but with blow for blow going for both sides, it was tough to see them winning out at the end there.
Yeah, in the last team fight there, we basically just saw the mispositioning on the side of conjoined twins. No Size Matters getting caught out at the very beginning. But after that, we saw Camper on duty and Carper on duty on the left side inside of their jungle, basically backs to the wall. So yeah, well played for Pistlet's Revenge, basically identifying that and being able to capitalize on the mispositioning.
Yeah, so we saw Cloudy, after having some struggles in some of the team fights, getting picked out very early on, able to sort of push forward with his team and get some of those picks there, able to kill the members one by one, and with everyone going down, a nice ult coming out from You're My Son as well, able to kill Habibi Poppy, and they just didn't have enough tools to stall out the game. So very well played by Pistlet's Revenge, and a bit of a lackluster way to end such an exciting game, though.
Yeah, I was pretty surprised too. I felt like after No Size Matters went down, I felt like nothing really much could happen, but a team fight ended up breaking out, and unfortunately, on the side of conjoined twins, they ended up falling 4v5. But yeah, still well played on the side of Pistlet's Revenge, basically keeping up the action throughout the entire game, making sure that they're able to get those early leads and securing those first 3 dragons. And so with that, would you say you have an MVP in mind?
Oh, that's tough. I mean, I think it's really tough. I think I'd have to go with Cloudy, although I definitely don't think this was his best game, but he was the catalyst that sort of set up the picks and the final fight, and I don't know if there's anyone else I would really want to call out here, but I do think Cloudy had a pretty rough game, getting picked off in a lot of the team fights in the mid game. So, but I do think ultimately he would be my MVP. What about you?
Yeah, I think I have to agree as well. And same points as you, though it wasn't his best game, I think he was that catalyst towards getting those picks, especially towards the later end. We saw No Size Matters falling down to him, and then him diving onto Camper on duty. But yeah, I think it's just really difficult to play as well, considering the comp on side of conjoined twins. with the Hecarim being so squishy, you have to select your fights so quickly and decisively. At the same time, I think Triangle played very well. Only 2 deaths on the team, surviving throughout most of the fights, despite them being so bloody. So I think well played towards him. I think it's just a bit difficult to see the Jhin in action, but I do think he has some very solid curtain calls, and overall played very well.
Yeah, and I think You Are My Son, despite having a few hiccups, especially with that ult in the mid game where he did it right in front of No Size Matters, he was able to land out a lot of the poke in some of these fights and dealing some of the most damage on his team. So I think he did overall have a pretty good performance that game. His ult was also a call out Habibi Poppy a couple of times there. So I think well played to honestly all the members in this game. I think both basically every member on every team had their moments and had some good plays. So just yeah, really well played overall.
Yeah, I just want to see more games like this. These were fantastic. So, but also despite the loss, Conjoined Twins having a really strong showing right here. Considering Pistol's Revenge was undefeated, being 3-0 at the very start of this, I think they have a very strong holding on the tournament, basically being a contender potentially.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
really
right.
excited to see what they can do in the future here.
Yeah, this is very interesting. We do have a lot of teams up in the top side or the top end of the standings right here. Platinum player Poggies being 5-1, Pistols Revenge now being 4-0, Habibi Hunters as well being 3-1. So I'm curious where Conjoined Twins ends up shaping up to be, potentially with all their matches being left on Saturday. They might be a force to be reckoned with.
Yeah, and with you know uh, Pistol's Revenge going to 4-0 here. They only a couple wins away from guaranteeing that first spot and that first round bye in the draft. No other team is undefeated so far. So if they're able to continue these performances, we could see them taking over and getting that first round bye and an easier matchup in the second round.
Yeah, they do have the head-to-head to Platinum player Poggies right now, so even if they do tie, being 5-1, they will still get that first seed.
Yep, and yeah, this was our only game for today, so a pretty short broadcast here. But we do have 5 games to look forward to tomorrow as we see where all the teams end up being placed into the bracket stage here. So should be a pretty exciting day, and yeah, I'm looking forward to that for sure.
Yeah, tomorrow's gonna be an absolute banger. You saw this game being the product of what happens if you ban Ivern. Um,
Yep, please ban
but
Ivern. Yep, PSA. Please ban this
makes
champ.
makes the viewer experience a lot more enjoyable.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
thanks for joining us. Thanks for hosting as well.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Thanks for joining me, and we'll look forward to the matches tomorrow. Good night, everyone.